Hello, ladies. Well, as you probably gathered by now, I am the oldest finalist in this competition. And I find it interesting because I'm still me. I haven't changed. I may be 80 now. And I know at one time Desiree was thinking of cutting this off at 80. And I said, why? Because just because you're older doesn't mean to say you're not capable of doing things. My main mission is intergenerational learning. You know, we always learned from our elders. We always accepted that our elders knew more than we did. And this digital revolution has divided us because the youngsters think we must be stupid because we don't understand the technology in the way that they do. Well, they grew up with it and I didn't. I was 50 when Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web. And incidentally, he's about the same age as me too. You see, we older people can come up with a trick or two. The youngsters, there's a horrid thing that happens when you get older, and that is age discrimination. Now, if somebody offers me a seat on the train or bus, I say thank you very much, whether I want it or not, because that's encouraging politeness. But if someone says to me, should you be doing that at your age? I think, mind your own blooming business. I am a person in my own right, and if I choose to go to international conferences and travel by myself, if I choose to go walking in the mountains, as I do, if I choose to do these things, that is my choice. You see, age discrimination actually cuts out opportunity, and there's no reason why we should be cut off from opportunity. I think growing old is a bloody good idea. The alternative is you've died young, and I'm not up for that. I want to be here for as long as possible. But the important thing as you get older, and I'm assuming most of you are younger than me, the important thing to remember is this. Keep this going. Keep your brain active. Keep your body going, because the two belong together and one ain't much good without the other. So you need to keep your brain and your body active. My favorite exercise is dancing. Dancing, there are no targets with dancing. I just bop about. And usually, especially at conferences or when I go down the pub, I usually get the other girls up dancing too. The men are more difficult, so I leave those alone. Some of them are very good dancers, but you know. It's about always looking forward. If you are a person who dwells in the past, then that's where you belong. Do you see what I mean? If you are always looking forward, doing things. I mean, yesterday, would you believe I went up the mountain with some friends and we were clearing, getting a clearing cleared of stuff because they're going to put a bench up there because the view is to die for and all the trees have grown up and have cut the view off. So the blokes were there with their chainsaws and what have you, and I was there with clippers cutting down the smaller stuff. I mean, I'm not going to do the hard work if I can get out of it. why make life difficult for yourself? I remember actually when I was very young, my first job, and the man who was showing me, I worked in a wool shop, and he was showing me how to move the dye lots on, because you have to keep wool in the same dye lot. And I watched him for a bit, and I thought, this is a stupid way of going about it. So I picked up the end of that dye batch and put it at the beginning. Dead easy. Took a minute. Whereas before he was moving every single packet along. My dad actually said to me about once, ask Val, she'll always find an easy way to do it. I do believe that you can make life harder for yourself. And so let's make it easier. Coming back to intergenerational learning and the young people, we have a lot to offer them, and they have a lot to offer us. I didn't want to know. Yes, I accept that Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web, and I wouldn't be talking to you now if he hadn't done that sort of thing. But when my son first told me about it in the 1970s, he said, "Mum, you're going to have email." And I said, "Why? I don't need that. I can write a letter." And he said, "Mum, email is free and the letter gets like that." I thought, that's handy. I can actually be in more contact with people much more quickly. Now, of course, we have this. Isn't it magic? It's absolutely superb. I yesterday was talking to Uganda. The day before, I was talking to someone in Malawi. I mean, what? When my brother went to live in what was then Rhodesia, a letter took 6 to 7 weeks to arrive. Now, not only can we write and they get the letter instantly, we can chat just like this. It really is wonderful. So what we want to do is bring the young people to understand that we still have skills and we have knowledge and we have ideas. I don't know if I've already told you about my birthday appeal. Normally people appeal for money for other projects and what have you, but I decided that global warming is here. We can't kid ourselves any longer. Global warming is happening. Look at Greece at the moment. Look at the fires in Turkey. Whole towns lost in Canada and Australia. I mean, it is here. We can't deny it. And our governments are not doing the job. They made a commitment at the last UN conference and they have not kept to it. Okay, they've had the excuse of COVID, I accept, but we're beating COVID and now we have to save our planet. Because if we don't, and global warming continues, the sea levels will rise. An awful lot of our cities are on the sea level. Where are all those people going to live? They're going to want to come inland. But the land will be getting smaller because the sea is rising. There won't be as much land because of that. We need to look at ways we can save our planet. And one of the ways, the most effective way, the cheapest way, and actually I think the best way, is to plant trees. So I put out this appeal to plant trees and I'm gobsmacked. I never imagined in a million years that literally thousands and thousands of people are planting trees. Well, mostly it's fewer people, but planting many more trees all over the world. I've even had from countries where Learn with Grandma doesn't exist, like Peru and Brazil, but mostly it's the Africans. Now you would think poorer countries would find it more difficult, but they have taken up the challenge in the way that the richer countries have not. And whereas here someone might plant a tree, 2 trees, incidentally our Queen is also asking for trees. So if you plant a tree, you can either kill 2 grannies with 1 tree, or you can plant 2 trees, and that would be the better option. But so many people planting trees. And because I did this appeal, Climate Cymru, which Cymru is the Welsh word for Wales. Okay, so Climate Cymru have asked me to be an ambassador, and I am now promoting Learn with Grandma and also planting trees as much as I possibly can. And I'm doing it via Facebook, via the internet. Magic, isn't it?